So what is a national spatial data infrastructure? So to encourage the collection, processing, achieving integration and sharing of geospatial data and information using common standard and interoperable system and techniques and accessible via the web. So to access the spatial data from multiple sources like a federal, state and local government, academia and easily integrated to enhance knowledge and understanding our physical and cultural world. The component of SDI, clearinghouse, catalog, metadata, framework, GEO data standards. So the clearinghouse, a spatial data clearinghouse is a distributed network of spatial data procedure managers and users that are linked electronically together. It is a system of software and institutions that are to facilitate the discovery, evaluation and downloading of digital spatial data and provides means to inventory, document and data sharing. Data clearing house, institutional view, people and infrastructures to facilitate discovery of who has what geographic information. Technical view, a set of information service that use hardware, software and telecommunication networks provide searchable access to information. How does a clearinghouse work? A clearinghouse allows data providing together to register the geographic data sets, the quality of this data, and also the instruction for accessing them. Each data provides an electronic description of each spatial data set. In addition, the provider may also provide access to the spatial data cell itself. The clearinghouse thus functions as a detailed catalog service with support for link to spatial data and browsing capabilities. The data descript in the clearinghouse may be located at the site of the data procedure or at site of designated data dissemination located elsewhere in the country. So the conceptual design, state agency, private company, federal agency, academic, non-profit agency, local agency. So the client consult server registry, the clearinghouse server registry, HTML, Java, list of link, the state agency, private company, federal agency, local agency, non-profit agency, academia. So the distributed query is passed to server, then result returned as headlines, then client requests a metadata entry, metadata and or data are downloaded, or a connection is made to data. So the clearinghouse approaches client metadata spatial data set. So use international voluntary consciousness standard, develop free reference implementations and software for public and commercial reuse. So promote a common vocabulary for geospatial data discovery on the internet. So FTGC data search. So the main search pages like HTTP, then FGDC clearinghouse gateway. So metadata concept and functionality. Metadata is defined as background information that describe the content, quality, condition and other appropriate characteristics of the data. So metadata is a simple mechanism to inform others of the extent of the data sets, their purpose and scope. So in essence, metadata answer who, what, when, where, why and how questions. So WHO questions. So about all facts of the data made available. So the accessibility, information needed to determine the data set that exists for a geographic location. So fitness for use, access, transfer, administration. So the metadata management and update. So the metadata has to be kept up to date. Concern in management include what to represent, how to capture and how to use it. So for internal data provider use, we will refer to local metadata which contains the detailed information about data sets stored on local hardware and managed by the data provider. So for external use, we refer to global metadata which contain a short description of the data sets and abstraction of local metadata and heuristics in the clearinghouse to allow user to find relevant data efficiently. Data providers should register their data holding with the clearinghouse. So whenever changes occur in the data, Each data provide report that changes to the clearinghouse authority. Updating the global metadata is the responsibility of clearinghouse. So data sharing and related problem. Data sharing problems which can be viewed as a critical factor in SDI can be briefly described as follows. So like a data standards, heterogeneity, communication problem, institutional and economical problems. So spatial data transfer and its standards. The need to exchange data among different systems leads to the definition of standard for the transfer of spatial data. The purpose of this transfer standard is to move the content of one GIS database to a different GIS database with a minimal loss of structure and information. In a transfer process, data is always physically moved from one system to another. GIS software accesses data on different systems through standardized interface. The OpenGIS Consortium is the leading organization that coordinates these activities. The spatial data transfer process. A data transfer standard defines a data model for the transfer as well as a translation mechanism. In transferring data from system X to system Y, we need a translator that converts the content of the database in a system X into the model of the spatial data transfer standard. A standard often used for this exchange format is the ISO 28211 data descriptive file. So on the receiving end, system Y needs a transfer that convert the data from the transfer standard into the database. Some standards that are more introduced by a company or organization, but which are not accepted as national or federal standards. So see the system X, system Y, source to target, the translator, software support, encoder, SDTS, software support, encoder. So transfer from system Y. So the assessment of the session, explain the procedure for identifying thematic accuracy. So these are the textbook. Thank you.